Hi everybody, happy Juneteenth. Ignore this situation that I'm trying to solve for. It's whatever. Anyway, on a day like today, where the theme is obviously centered around freedom, and I have separate feelings about this being a national holiday, and people suddenly kind of commercializing it, whatever. However, if you're not a person of color, definitely spend today thinking about the history of Juneteenth. But if you are a person of color, particularly a Black person in America, I invite us to think about not only the history of Juneteenth, but the application of it. Hi, Bumblebee, right? Like, if we think about ourselves in context, we exist on this arc of freedom that starts with this idea of not even having physical freedom, and then evolves into kind of like the generations that immediately come before us that thought about freedom in terms of kind of like social mobility and economic mobility, and being able to provide people like us with more opportunities, more access, to essentially the non-melanated paradigm. And so when I think about Juneteenth today, I think about what our responsibilities are in terms of what our conversation about freedom really looks like. And for me, I think it's a conversation about psychological freedom. And the call of our generation is about thinking about the ways in which we want to free ourselves from the ideas that have held us captive even after we gained our physical liberation. And in some ways that's arguable, right? And so what ideas do we need to liberate ourselves from in order to be able to pass the baton to the next generation? And obviously it's at the forefront of what's going on in the world right now, but so much of the work, even if we're not in the streets every single day, is about the ways in which we're deconstructing these limiting ideas and being able to apply and practice a new type of freedom that we define for ourselves. So, thought for food.